Imagine yourself standing alone on a deserted road, the only sound being the creaking of trees in the wind, when suddenly, you stumble upon a gruesome discovery that will change everything. This is the chilling reality of a Lake County cold case, where a body was found under circumstances so bizarre, it would haunt the dreams of the investigators for years to come. You find yourself in the midst of a typical summer evening in Lake County, the sun dipping below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the tranquil landscape. But little do you know, this peaceful scene is about to be shattered by a discovery that will send shockwaves through the community. A lone driver, traveling down a deserted road, notices something peculiar: a car, abandoned, with the door left open, as if the occupant had just stepped out. Curiosity gets the better of the driver, and as they approach the vehicle, a sense of dread begins to settle in. The air is thick with an eerie silence, the only sound being the distant hum of crickets and the soft rustling of leaves. It's then that the driver sees it: a body, lifeless and unresponsive, lying just a few feet away from the car. The scene is set, and the investigation is about to begin. But as you stand there, taking in the horror of it all, you can't help but wonder what events led to this moment. And who could have committed such a heinous crime? As the news of the body spreads, the authorities are quick to respond, and soon, the area is swarming with police cars, ambulances, and forensic experts. You're right there with them, seeing the scene through their eyes, as they begin to process the evidence. The body, now identified as a young woman, shows signs of a brutal struggle, with visible marks of trauma and assault. The investigators are meticulous, scouring every inch of the crime scene, collecting samples, and documenting every detail. But as they delve deeper, they begin to uncover a web of secrets and lies, leading them down a dark and twisted path. The smell of blood and dirt fills the air, as the sound of sirens echoes in the distance. You can feel the tension building, as the team works tirelessly to piece together the events of that fateful night. And then, just as they think they're making progress, they stumble upon a cryptic clue: a small piece of paper, torn from a notebook, with a haunting message scrawled on it. What does it mean? And who could have written it? As the investigation gains momentum, you're taken on a journey through the darkest corners of human nature. The detectives are racing against time, following every lead, every tip, and every hint, no matter how small. They interview witnesses, scour surveillance footage, and analyze the evidence, all in an effort to build a picture of the killer. But the more they learn, the more they realize that nothing is as it seems. The victim, it turns out, was not who she appeared to be, and her past is marked by secrets and deceit. The detectives are faced with a complex web of relationships, motives, and alibis, all of which seem to be intertwined. You're right there with them, as they sift through the evidence, trying to separate fact from fiction. The sound of keyboards clacking, papers shuffling, and phones ringing fills the air, as the team works around the clock to crack the case. But just as they think they're closing in on the killer, they receive a chilling phone call, a taunting message from the suspect, claiming to have committed the crime. Or is it just a twisted prank? As the investigation unfolds, you're hit with a bombshell: a second body is discovered, with striking similarities to the first. The killer, it seems, has struck again, leaving behind a trail of clues and misdirection. The detectives are faced with a daunting task: to connect the two crimes, and uncover the identity of the perpetrator. But as they dig deeper, they begin to realize that the killer may not be a stranger to the community. In fact, they may be hiding in plain sight, masquerading as a normal, law-abiding citizen. You're taken on a journey through the killer's mind, as the detectives try to understand the motivations behind the crimes. The sound of a ticking clock, the rustling of leaves, and the creaking of doors fills the air, as the tension builds to a boiling point. And then, just as you think you know what's coming next, the killer makes a shocking move. They reach out to the detectives, offering to meet and reveal their true identity. But is it a trap, or a genuine attempt to surrender? The meeting between the killer and the detectives is a tense, heart-pumping affair, with both sides trying to outmaneuver each other. You're right there, feeling the tension, as the killer reveals their true identity and the motives behind the crimes. But as the truth begins to unravel, you're left with more questions than answers. The killer's words are laced with a twisted sense of justification and a disturbing lack of remorse. The detectives are faced with a moral dilemma to understand the killer's motivations, or to condemn them outright. The sound of heavy breathing, the creaking of chairs, and the rustling of papers fills the air as the scene unfolds. And then, just as the meeting comes to a close, the killer drops a bombshell. They claim to have been inspired by a previous serial killer, and to have left behind a series of hidden clues, leading to their next victim. But is it a genuine threat, or just a desperate attempt to regain control? As the case comes to a close, you're left to ponder the implications of the killer's actions. The investigation has revealed a complex web of secrets, lies, and deceit, all of which have led to a devastating conclusion. The killer, now behind bars, will spend the rest of their days reflecting on their crimes. But as you reflect on the case, you can't help but wonder what drove this individual to commit such heinous acts? And what can be done to prevent similar crimes from occurring in the future? The sound of a prison door slamming shut, the rustling of papers, and the distant hum of a city fills the air as the scene fades to black. And then, just as you think it's all over, you receive a chilling message, a note from the killer, claiming to have one final secret to reveal. But will it be the truth, or just another twisted lie? The darkness closes in, and you're left with a haunting question: what lies in the shadows, waiting to strike next? As the case comes to a close, we're left with more questions than answers. The darkness that lurks within human nature is a terrifying thing, and it's up to us to shed light on it. If you've made it this far, you're probably wondering what drove this individual to commit such heinous crimes. Share your theory in the comments below, and let's work together to unravel the mysteries of the human psyche. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime content, and join me next time as we delve into the depths of darkness and emerge into the light. But be warned, the truth is out there, and it's waiting for you. Will you dare to face it?